Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. A few things that I think will come in handy that you might want to collect before we practice. A couple of blocks. 2 thick books will be a perfect substitute. A folded blanket or towel, it could just be your kitchen towel or a hand towel. So if we get on our hands and knees, or if you want something extra to sit up on, you've got it. Speaking of sitting up on things, I often like even more of a perch. So a bolster, which could be the cushion from your couch or a sturdy pillow from your bed. I like a chair just in case for some balance, and I actually incorporate it often in our flow, or at least as an option. And then I'm standing on a yoga mat, but if you don't have one, don't worry. Find something, a place in your house that maybe is a rug or a carpeted area, not too slippery. And if you're more comfortable with your shoes on than barefoot like I am, keep your shoes on. We'll stop and start in our Bedrock Pose. So feet hip distance is mountain pose, where I often start you, because it is our foundational pose. And of course, the pose that we find ourselves in most often off our mat. So a little soft bend to your knees, play with it a little bit. Shift a bit forward and back and feel your balance, and a little side to side and feel your balance, and try to find evenness in both feet, just like you're finding some evenness in your breath. Spin your palms away from one another. Let that invite your shoulders to open your heart to the sky as opposed to cave in and collapse your chest. Lean your head back, not so much lift your chin, but lean the back of your head back so that you can align ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. Let's get still here and sip a little bit of silence. Just that moment to turn inward as opposed to distractedly outward, where our days can pull us often. Now, keeping the structure of our mountain and that mindful inward turn, inhale your arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands onto your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward, tractioning your hands for even more length in your spine. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips, but keep your head always above your hips. And then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. And pause in your mountain. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms out and up, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands onto your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart and traction your hands into your thighs a bit. And then exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. And then float your arms along your side. Once more. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. And then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Stand in your mountain. Evenness in your feet. Evenness in your breath. We'll arrange our props mindfully for our next little bit of fun. That chair that I said I think is a great idea, place it so that the seat of your chair is facing the short edge of your mat, or what you would imagine to be the short edge of your mat. And then your thick books or blocks off the sides of your mat, so not underfoot, but within reach in case that's where we want to go. Now, your mountain will face your chair. Palms face out, we stand tall. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands onto your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward. This is where you can bring your hands onto the base of your chair, or trot your blocks onto your mat, but still not underfoot, and step your left foot back so we're in a lunge shape. Pause a moment here. This is our first step in a recipe that we're going to follow in a moment, so let's feel into it. You're thinking about bending your front knee so that your front thigh is parallel to the ground. Remember, we're tall in our spine, head above hips. Step your left foot hip distance from your right and bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and then stand into your mountain. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then exhale, hinge at your hips, and hands come to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward. As you exhale, hands to your chair or onto your blocks, and it's your right foot that will step back into the lunge that we're just trying on for size. It's like little rehearsals as we build poses. Every inhale you grow long. Every exhale you trust your foundation in the earth. Right foot hip distance from left, hands onto your thighs. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then stand into your mountain. We will add on. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, hands to your chair. I'm going to suggest that maybe you bring your chair closer if you think that might be what you're going to use. Hands can come to your blocks. Step your left foot back. This time, turn your back foot on its side and heel toe your right foot over to the left a little bit. Now, right hand can stay on your chair and left hand on your hip as you hug your hip underneath you. Maybe right hand comes to your block. Remember, head higher than hips. And then rotate your chest to the left. So think warrior two in your legs, and it might be a good idea for all of us, myself included, to ensure that our right knee is over our right ankle. Maybe left thumb to the sky, arm to the sky, and then just use, if your hand is on your block, you can kind of imagine that your right thigh bone is pressing against your right arm. If you're on the chair, just gaze down at your own body for a moment and make sure that that right knee is not collapsing in, it's actually articulating out, and that's happening at your hip joint. We'll stay here for 3 moments. And then unwind and spin on your back toes, hands onto your blocks or the seat of your chair. Left foot hip distance from right, hands to your thighs. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then float your arms along your side. Let's do the second side. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands on your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward, hands come to the seat of your chair or onto your blocks if that's what you like. Step your right foot back. We're on the ball of the back foot until we turn it flat on its side. And we'll inch, heel toe, your left foot just a couple of inches over to the right. Now you can keep your right hand on your block, or right hand can come to your chair. Or sorry, left hand on your block or left hand on your chair, right hand on your hip. That's what I meant. Hug your left hip underneath you. If you do this with me often, you know that right and left are not my strong suit. And we're rotating our chest to the sky. We've got a nice deep bend in that front knee. And it could be that we then extend our right arm to the sky, thumb to the sky. See if habits like shrugging your shoulders into your ears can be averted through awareness. And spin your inner upper arms away from one another so the architecture suggests no collision of shoulders and ears. Let's stay for a couple of moments and observe our body. So look down at your left thigh, let it move a little bit to the left as opposed to collapse to the right. Now unravel your right hand onto your block or back to that chair. Spin on your back toes, that's important in our exit. And then with your hands on either your blocks or the seat of your chair, right foot hip distance from your left, hands on your thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky. And then float your arms along your sides. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands on your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward, hands to your chair or onto your blocks. Step your left foot back. We're in our lunge. Spin it flat on its side. Inch your right foot over to the left. take your right hand onto your block or your chair and your left hand on your hip. Now this time, reach your thumb to the sky, reach your arm behind your back, and do a little half bind. So you'll just turn your left thumb to face down and reach that left arm behind your back. 3 moments here. This next part, I want you to remember head above hips big time. It's a new move for us in this sequence. Could be that taking your hand on your chair will assure that your head stays above your hips. Slow motion, begin to straighten that front leg, but keep rotating your chest to the sky. Do the best you can. It's fine if you don't get that front leg all the way straight. Think of freedom. Freedom in your right hamstring, freedom with your arm behind your back and your heart opening. We are moving towards freedom. And towards is an important part of that. If it's sticky and tight, breathe into those sticky bits and just set them free a little bit. Rebend your front knee, unwind your top arm to the sky and spin on your back toes, both hands either to the seat of your chair or onto your blocks, left foot hip distance from your right, hands on your thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips, and then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and pause into your mountain. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands onto your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, hands to the seat of your chair or hands onto your blocks, and it's your right foot that will step back into our initial lunge, but then spin that back foot flat. Heel toe your left foot a little bit over to the right. Your left hand can stay on your block or on the seat of your chair. Right thumb to the sky, or maybe you like right hand on the hip as we've been doing, and then right thumb to the sky. We'll turn the right thumb down and weave that right arm, that top arm behind your back. Now when we do, you want to make sure that you don't round and collapse like I almost did just now. And we'll take a couple of moments. Remember when you looked at your thigh bone and you moved it over, left thigh bone to the left as opposed to collapsing. 2 moments here. With your hand remaining on your chair base or on your block, and I think the chair is really great to assure head above hips. Press into your left big toe mound and just work that leg towards straight. Now as it's getting tight, you're going to be very tempted to collapse your chest and swing your butt out. Let's not do that. Let's see if we can keep our hip hugging underneath, our chest rolling to the sky. We are on a mission to find some freedom. 3 moments here. We will unravel our top leg and spin on our back toes, returning to our first lunge. So right hand on your chair or right hand and left hand on your 2 blocks. Then step your right foot hip distance from your left and bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale, exhale, fold, chair pose, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then stand and pause in your mountain. We want to get our blocks out from underneath our feet for the next bit. So just scooch them mindfully off to the right side of your mat. And I think probably turning your chair so that the chair back is facing you now is a good idea, because the taller aspect of your chair is going to be helpful for balance. You can also go to a wall and find your balance there. Now first we will stand on our right leg. I'm going to turn back and forth so that you see what I'm talking about. You'll stand on your right leg and standing upright, just float your left leg back behind you, not to a place where we start making a letter T, but upright and then just as far as it can go, and that's probably not very far, not for me either. Keep your right knee bent. Grow the crown of your head and your heart through the gateway of your arms up to the sky. 2 moments as we are here. And then step Left foot hip distance from right. Return to your mountain for a moment. Just appreciate a little bit more real estate on the ground. Second side, it's our left leg that we will stand upon, and our right leg that we will drift back behind us. So it's not an arabesque where we're lifting it and hiking the hip up. That's why it's not going to go very far, which is fine. We're looking for freedom in the front of our right thigh now, because this is what's called hip extension. Now think about when you're sitting, which we do a lot of, don't we? This is the opposite action in your hip of when you're sitting. So the benefit is that we're doing the best we can to create a counter pose to a place in which we spend a lot of time in our bodies, and we just want to kind of counteract some of that. Stand tall. It's another thing that we don't necessarily do. 2 moments here. And then right foot hip distance from left, and we stand tall. And we see how that feels for the time being. You could repeat exactly what we just did, and that benefit that I just explained to you about opening the hips would be true. I'll give you an option to take it a little bit further. Further doesn't mean it's better, it's just different. All of these things are great. So hands on the back of your chair. You will stand onto your right leg. Extend your left leg back behind you. So all of us are doing the same thing we started with. We're upright. Now maybe bend your left knee like you're going to kick yourself in the butt. It doesn't matter if you're able to grab the foot, but you can reach your left hand towards it. There's actually great benefit in not holding on. If you're able to hold on, that's cool too. Every gradation, each option has its own benefit. They're all good. Stand nice and tall. Find a little freedom in your left hip flexor, it's called, because it flexes, bends your knee into your chest. And we're stretching them out right now. And let go of your left foot, stand in your mountain, pause for a moment. Stand on your left leg this time. Hands on the back of your chair, we all start the same. Right leg extends back behind you, and we have that extension at the hip, and that's our jam. That's what we are really interested in. So if it stays here, brilliant. Maybe bend your right knee like you're going to kick yourself in the butt. Possibly reach with your right hand as if to hold the foot. That means you have to use muscles. There's no leverage when you hold on. If you're able to hold on and you dig that, perfect. So find the place where you can meet yourself where you are and then celebrate it. I think that's freedom too. Then let go of your right foot. Step your right foot hip distance from your left and feel that real estate on the ground, steadiness, evenness. It might benefit us to turn our chair seat towards us as a method to get to the floor. So I'm going to do that. You might join me in it. And then inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands onto your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Hands on the base of your chair or on your blocks. Step your left foot back, and this time we lower our back knee onto our mat. So this is where the padding, the folded blanket or towel, might want to go underneath your back knee, your left knee. Now first, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. And then turn your thumbs down and interlace behind your back. Remember when we had our arm woven behind our back in our poses just now? This is that kind of a feeling on both sides. And then bend both elbows and take your interlace and just tuck it onto your left hip here. And imagine bringing your 2 elbows a little closer to one another and set free the tight stuff in our chest muscles, our pectoral muscles. See if that tightness is bringing you into jutting your chin forward. Try not to do that thing. Chin parallel to the ground. Shoulders getting freedom. 2 moments here. Untuck from your left hip. Drag your knuckles down towards the ground. We will stay close to the ground. So unlace your fingers. Take your hands to your mat. Come to all fours for a moment, and then step your left foot forward, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. You may want to rearrange the padding underneath your right knee now. I like to keep my back toes curled under also as part of that. Turn your thumbs down and interlace, and just see if you can interlace with the other pinky on the bottom. And maybe it's like really hard to figure out which one it was, because our habits, we aren't even aware of them until we are. So that was that flash moment for all of us. Doesn't make us bad. It's just part of the presence of mind and awareness this practice can build. Now bend your elbows, tuck your interlace on your right hip, and imagine bringing your elbows closer to one another, just to a place where freedom finds its way. I will set you free with about 20 seconds of silence. And then untuck from your hip and drag your knuckles down. Release your arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, just for a little freedom from that interlace. Onto all fours we go. It could be that you now want to move your chair out of your way a little bit. I always do that so I know that you can see me. Perhaps you take your towel or blanket or whatever you're using and bring it underneath both knees on our hands and knees here. Now I'm going to face you a little bit more. On all fours, shoulders over wrists, take your right arm up to the sky, thumb to the sky, bend at your left elbow and just swoop underneath. Your butt kind of sticks up a little bit. For some of us, that book or block underneath our head, so on the right side of your head might feel nice. We're not here long. A sweet little swoop of freedom. And then come up onto all fours. We've got all of our props, all of our things in place, but you may want to scoot your block a little bit over to your left. Take your left arm up to the sky. Swoop it underneath, you bend your right elbow. Ease into it, so this is not something designed to feel lousy. I want it to be so freeing. And then slowly unwind. Bring yourself back onto all fours. We'll come seated cross-legged. So you have a few choices of props that might assist you here. You could sit on one of these blocks or your books. You could sit on the folded blanket that's under your knees. You could sit on the cushion that's a lot like a bolster. I'm going to fold my blanket a bit, have a little stoop to sit on. And let's cross our right shin in front of our left shin first. When we construct our seated cross-legged position, instead of crossing at the ankles where there can be a little bit more pressure on our knees, let's walk our feet across so that your ankles are underneath your knees, and now you're going to feel a lot more in the hip rotator, so these muscles around our hips. Pause for a moment. Let's introduce our interlace to our seated cross-legged. So you'll interlace your hands behind your back and just take your knuckles down to the ground and let that sort of pressing down with your knuckles elevate your heart as we set our hips free too. Now, close your eyes or just soften your gaze so that part of our freedom is me being silent and you sitting in the silence. I know that can be challenging. Just check out which of your pinkies is on the bottom. Stay tall, unlace and relace, and you can press your knuckles back down. But remember earlier I said, hey, did you even realize which one you go to first? We just had a moment of realization. Soft gaze or eyes closed here. 30 seconds of silence. Now release your interlace and release the cross of your legs. Just give them a little waggle of freedom. Left shin in front. If you wish that you had a different perch, you can always swap out your props as we go. Try to get that deeper cross. And then palms up or down. Again, I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable, or just soften your gaze. And we will now take a full minute of silence in a seated meditation together. Just feel your breath and maybe tell yourself silently, let on your inhale, go on your exhale. 1 minute starting now. That was 1 minute. You're welcome to stay here in a seated meditation to end our practice together today. Or lie down on your back in our Shavasana final meditation, as we often do. Make yourself comfortable. A place where you can set yourself free. And it is now the ultimate let go. If you're lying down, maybe wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch your arms and legs away from each other. When you're ready, gather your knees into your chest and roll to either side and come and meet us in our comfortable seat. Let's take a moment to feel the freedom that we have found. Body, mind, and spirit. So it comes with us after we roll up our mat. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.